Hi, I'm Mark. Welcome back to Foothill Paint Fabrication. Well, we are very close to getting the truck completely done, but one of the last things we need to do a little bit more painting. I screwed up, and I don't want to hide things from you guys. I make mistakes, you'll make mistakes. You got to know how to fix them and not, think it's a huge deal that it's, like you have to redo everything. So what I did was I didn't get enough blue in this area right here between the door panel and the chrome trim piece here. I don't know what I was thinking or not thinking. I have no idea. I didn't take the truck apart. Maybe I was thinking it didn't show. I don't know. But two more passes with a gun, it would have been almost no paint, but here I am trying, have to fix it now. So what we're going to do today, we're going to take the door panel off, take the trim ring off, and then we're going to go ahead and get this scuffed up, get some blue on it, and then get some clear on it, and then get it polished up and put back together. So we'll go through how to fix mistakes like this. You may run into the underside of a fender or someplace you didn't get enough color, and later when you're putting the car together, you see it and go, oh my goodness, now what do I do? Well, this is what you're gonna do. So let's jump right in here and take a look at it. Okay, this is the area we'll be working on today. Maybe a couple inches in from each side. I got plenty of blue on the edges, not in the middle, and that's just because I just screwed up. So I need to get the door panel off, I need to get the trim ring off, and then basically the hardest part of this whole project is going to be protecting the truck. So I've got some drop cloths. We need to get everything covered, and then we'll be ready to really get to work on this thing. So let me get the door panel off real quick and this trim piece off, and then we'll get to work on this thing. Okay, I got the door panel off, both sides, and the trim ring off, so we're good. So I got some more light on here so you guys can see a little bit better. And I think what I was thinking was this didn't show, and I didn't want to spray through the hole and have it carry dirt out onto the inside of the panel. That's my only guess, but it doesn't matter why I screwed up, it just matters that I did, and then we need to fix this. So we're going to bring the blue. We only want to bring the blue out as far as we absolutely need to. That way we have plenty of room to blend the clear in and get that clear on clear. So we don't want to run it all the way here. If we had to run it all the way to here, then I would have to clear farther way around here to get the clear to blend together. So we're looking good, right to about here and over there, about the same distance, and it looks like the same on both of them. So I'm going to go ahead and start off by getting some drop cloths on this thing. So I bought a 5-pack at the store. I use 0.7 mil drop cloths, the plastic ones. Don't get the super thin ones, they're just aggravating. I mean, spring the extra couple of bucks and get one that's a little bit thicker. The 0.7 mil is thin enough so you don't have to worry about it scratching or being hard to handle and get apart. It's thin enough for that, but it's thick enough so it doesn't tear and fall apart on you really easily. So let me get some drop cloths on this thing, and then we can get to work on it. Okay, we got the truck pretty well hermetically sealed here. It's covered pretty nicely, and like a lot of these small jobs, when you have to do repairs like this, the prep takes way longer than the actual repair. So, it's just the way it is. You got to protect the car. I learned a long time ago, spend the money, spend the time, otherwise you get overspray. Basically, you're polishing the whole car again, which takes way longer than throwing some drop cloths on there, and some masking tape. So we're pretty much ready to go. I cleaned all this before I even started masking, so that's good to go. The next step will be to get it scuffed. So we're going to run clear back in this area. Everything will get cleared, but we're going to blend the clear right in here. So what I'll do is I'll take some 1500 grit and I'll sand this whole thing right here. And if I feel like I need it, I'll take a purple Scotch-Brite pad and I'll scuff the area where the blue was going. So what we'll do is we'll mix up a little baby batch of blue, and we'll spray the areas that need it the most, that are really light. And then what I'll do is I'll probably add some more reducer to that same blue, and then I'll start blending it out farther and farther. If I think I need another coat, then I'll add a little more reducer, and that thins it out, makes it lay down nice and smooth so we don't have any dry spray where it blends in. And then once that sits up, we'll spray clear all the way over here, let it sit overnight, come back, sand it a little bit, polish it, and put it back together. Okay, I got everything ready. We're going to get the blue in about this area to this area, and then the other side's pretty much the same thing. So I mixed up, I've got just about an ounce of color and an ounce of reducer in here. So just a tiny amount. It's not going to take much. So I got my little gun out. We'll try to, and I got the pattern set to about a 2-inch pattern, not very big. And we're just going to get in here and get this done. Okay, I'm going to jump over to the other side. We'll get that, and then we'll come back. It's looking pretty good. So let me hit the other side real quick, and then we'll come back and check this one. May add a little reducer to the cup and just stir it up inside the cup and blend it out a little bit farther. Okay guys, it's flashed off pretty good. I'm using a medium reducer. I would rather use a slow, but I don't have any slow, but it's such a small job, it's not that big a deal. The thing about base coats is you want to really use the slowest reducer you can. It'll get you out a lot of jams because you can always wait longer in between coats. But if you get dry spray, you're kind of screwed. So use the slowest reducer you think you can handle for your temperature. So it's 62 degrees in the shop right now. Sheet metal's fairly cool, so I can get away with medium. So I'm going to go ahead and just lay it on. And what I'll do is I'll start here and I'll work towards the middle on each one so I don't have any spray going up over here where I'm going to lay some clear down. All right, it's looking good. I'm going to get the other side and then we'll check it with a light, and if it looks good, clean the gun, go eat lunch, come back, get some clear on this thing. Okay, it looks pretty good with the light. I don't see any problems. Looking real good. Clean the gun, go eat lunch, come back, get this thing knocked out. Okay, done with lunch. I tacked this off really nice. It's flashed off completely, no problems there. And I paid extra attention with the tack rag over here, just in case that's where I was ending my strokes when I was painting. And I want to make sure there's no dry spray there, so I kind of scrubbed it a little bit with the tack rag. And it came out really nice. So I mixed up a small batch of clear. It's kind of hard to mix a very small batch, but I bought some really tiny mixing cups from the paint store, so I was able to mix up like 2 ounces of clear. So what we're going to do is I'm going to spray it, and the way I have the tape here rolled back, it'll help keep the clear from being pulled up underneath there. The air will turn and pull back out, so there won't be a definite line there, and then I can color sand it really easy and just blend it, because we stopped the blue right here, and the clear, I'll run the clear all the way to here, and then we'll blend it right there on the edge. So let's go ahead and get this done. All right, that's the first coat. And really, on the base coat, I really wasn't worried about it getting on the truck. The clear is what floats around and kind of stays sticky in the air for a long time. So I'm going to run over, get the other side. This stuff will flash off fairly quickly, probably wait 5 minutes, and we'll get the second coat on it, and that'll be about it for today. Okay, we got it flashed off pretty good, so we're going to go ahead and hit it again. I'll come out a little bit farther on each end, and that's going to be pretty much it. We're only putting 2 coats on this thing. Okay, second coat is on, and the gun is clean, but we're going to have to let it sit till tomorrow before we can get back on it. So it's looking so good right here, right where the clear blends into the new clear blends into the old clear. I think I'm just going to go ahead and polish that, not color sand it. We'll try polishing it first without color sanding, and then see how it comes out. But that's going to have to wait till tomorrow. I'm going to leave everything masked because I don't want compound flying all over the truck. I will pull this back because we have to polish all the way up around there. But other than that, we're going to leave everything masked off. So see you in the morning. All right, let's see how this thing turned out. Okay, it's the next day. Clear feels nice and hard. Let me see if I can get an angle on here right where the clear blend is. You can see it right there. Can you see that? See, there's the new clear and there's the old clear. And see that little fuzzy line in between? We're not even going to sand that. I'm just going to get the polisher out and polish that and see if that comes out. But that's how all 4 of them look like. So hopefully it'll only take a few moments to get that busted out. Okay guys, I got you zoomed in here. I changed my mind. It's kind of in a little low spot here, so I don't think I can polish in there as hard as I'd like. So I'm going to go ahead and just use a little spray bottle and a little piece of 1500, and we're just going to sand this right here. And I can see it right there and actually kind of feel it with the sandpaper, feel the roughness. So I'm just going to sand this up here a little bit. It'll only take a few seconds. And really trying to cut corners and not sand it is actually probably would have taken me longer than if I just bit the bullet, got the sandpaper out, did a little bit of light sanding, and go ahead and get this smoothed out all the way. So I'm going to go ahead and sand all 4 of these and get them ready, and then we'll get the polisher going, the little mini polisher. I think I'll use the 2-inch pad so I can get in there really good, and we'll hit it with some number 1, number 2, and then call it good. So I think that's about it right there. Where's my towel? So I'll just look in the light there a little bit, and I see a little bit right here, and maybe just a tiny bit right there. So I'll hit it just a little bit more. I know you guys probably can't see it that well, but we'll take a look here real quick. I'll try to get you in closer. So let me finish sanding all of these real quick, and I'll bring you back. Okay guys, we got it sanded out pretty nice. It's pretty smooth, not perfect, but it'll look just as good as the rest of the door. So I'm going to use my little 2-inch polisher, my mini polisher with a 2-inch foam pad on it. And I apologize, something's wrong with the adjusting valve on this thing. It's spitting air, but let's go ahead and get this thing polished up. And just like that, it's ready to go. So we'll switch over to number 2. I'm going to jump in and do the other one, get all the other 3. We'll switch over to number 2, and then we'll come back and take a look at it. All right, let's get number 2. Get this thing put back together. Pretty good. Okay, all done. Let's get a little angle on here for you. Nice and shiny. Don't see the blend line at all. This one too, it's kind of hard to see. This blue really just sucks the light in and won't let it back out. You can see here why good idea to keep everything covered. My polisher went up to high speed right off the bat on that one and flung it all over me and all over the truck. So all in all, it's looking pretty good. Let's get this thing unmasked, uncovered, and start putting it back together. Okay, let's get the window trim back on and the door panel. Now, putting your truck back together, car, whatever you're doing, it can be nerve-wracking because you got fresh paint, you're waving a piece of stainless around trying to get it to clip in. It's sharp. You know you're going to scratch it somewhere, and it happens. It happens to me. Don't worry about it, but there are a few things you can do to help yourself so you don't cause more damage than you need to. Now these little chrome strips that go around here, they are sharp and they're kind of hard to wrestle in there sometimes. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take some saran wrap, and you can, if you get this industrial stuff, it works really good because it's a lot thicker, but you could double this up. And what we want to do is just lay it on here, and the reason I use saran wrap is because it sticks. You can use cling wrap, you can use whatever. And what we're going to do is we're going to put that around here, so when we rustle that little piece in there, we don't have to worry about it hitting right on the paint. Now, if you're really concerned, you can double it up. You can do a lot of different things. If you try to use tape, you can't get the tape out because it's stuck, right? So that, and you end up trying to cut it and then you scratch the paint. But the saran wrap, what we're going to do is we're going to get this all the way around here. We'll get the molding or the trim piece in, and then we'll get some screws in, and before we pull it tight, we'll be able to pull it away and then just pull the saran wrap out and then snug up the screws. And because if you snug up the screws, it traps it in there and it's really hard to get out, and then you have little pieces you're trying to pick out. So what we try to do is just do that for a little extra protection. So if you have to pop it in, or it jiggles a little bit while you're trying to line up the screw, it's not rubbing right on that paint, it's rubbing on the saran wrap, or whatever you have, cling wrap, whatever you're using. So I'm going to go ahead and get some pieces around here, then we'll grab the molding and then we'll get it up in here. Okay, so we have all the saran wrap in and we have the window in the up position. So it's better to leave it in the up position so this black trim that goes around the glass doesn't get scratched while you're trying to drop the molding in. So we're going to start at the front here, the front of the door, and we're going to bring it in nice and slow, nice and careful. We're going to keep the back end down a little bit till we get that pushed forward. Then we can lift it up over the top and down in. Now that one went in really easy. Now the driver's side, it was a little bit of a bear. It didn't want to go in, so it took a little bit of fiddling. So if yours goes in that easy, you really don't have to worry about saran wrap. You took the truck apart, you know if it's going to come apart and go back together easy. But it doesn't hurt to have it when you're trying to line up these holes and get this stuff slid around. So I can slide this around knowing it's sliding on the plastic wrap, not on the paint. So the next thing, a little tip for you guys, is you can use an awl to line up your holes, but I like to use a good old-fashioned ice pick. So what you do is, the good thing about the ice pick is the length. It's really pointy on the end too, but the length is what's important, because what you want to do is, once you find the hole, we're good right there. Now I can look and see what angle the ice pick is, so I know what angle to put my screw in, because I'm sure you guys have been there. You line it up and you can't seem to get the screw to start, no matter what you do. So you fiddle around for 10 minutes trying to get it done. With the ice pick being as long as it is, awls are usually shorter, so you can't really pick out what angle it is. So what you can do is you just line that up like that, and then you remember the angle. So when you're putting the screw in, hopefully you do the exact same angle. And the saran wrap's not going to interfere with anything. It's super thin. You poke right through it. So, and I can tell I didn't start that one at the same angle. So let me get that there. Let's see if it makes a liar out of me here. Yes, it did. Try again. Do it again. There it is. I'm going to push down on the molding and hold it, try to hold it where the ice pick's right in the center. And these screws are really long. They have to hit a hole way down inside there. Okay, I got it that time. And just leave it loose just like that. So I'm going to go around and do all of them just like that and get everything just where I want it, and then I'll pull the saran wrap out and then we'll snug these up and we can move on to getting the door panel on. Okay, so I got all the screws in. That took me 15-20 minutes to get that done. I just couldn't get these back ones to go, so I had to take the front one out, and then it allowed it to jiggle back a little bit more. Then these went in easy. Then I just worked my way around and this one went in. So it's just the way it is sometimes. So Darren had some really nice upholstery done for the truck. The door panels, the door pulls, and the seat. I think the guy did a fabulous job. It looks really nice. It's a really nice looking quality work. Looks like they used very heavy material, which is always nice, and I think it matches well. It looks good for the truck. So let me get all this in. We'll get the door handles on. I'll show you a little trick. It looks like I don't know if everybody does it, but Darren's got some screws backing up the other screws. On the pull, on the door handle, and on the crank. So let me get all this together and we'll check it out. Okay, one of the last things to do is put the door handle on and the window crank. So the upholsterer supplied, or Darren got, these really nice cushions for this. And you want to always make sure like cardboard or whatever it is plastic is facing the handle so it slides on there and doesn't dig in. Now you never want to install handles up against a door panel without something in between. GM cars had the little plastic disc. I'm pretty sure Ford's did too. This custom job has this little piece of light cardboard with thin, very dense foam there. So what that does is when you get this installed on here and you push in, it holds it right up against the door panel really nice and tight and clean. So the thing I was talking about is, and I don't know if Darren did this, I'm quite sure they didn't come from the factory that way, the little standard screw that's in here, they tend to back out. Now I've had trouble with older trucks and cars, you know, where these screws were not the clip style but the screw style. Over time it just walks its way out, you know, and you can't really put Loctite on them because it's just a standard screw. Sometimes it gets stripped out and then you can't get the handle off. So on this one, it's got a little set screw, Allen set screw, with the original one. So you get this installed, you get it up in there, you push in, you tighten it up real tight, and then you install the little set screw behind it like a backer, and you run it in all the way and jam it up against that other screw so it can't walk its way out as you use the handle, like when you're cranking the window up and down. So I thought that was a really good idea. It kind of stumped me for a moment when I was taking them off because I'm like, what's going on here? So I took one out and it didn't come loose, and then I realized, hey, that was a backup screw. And then we just loosened up the other ones and they came right off. So let me get these installed. I want to make sure I get them at the exact same angle that Darren had it. I think he had it pointed right at this screw so both sides look the same. And then we will be done with this job. Okay, guys, mistake corrected. Looks fantastic. And really, it was a stupid mistake. I mean, it would have taken minuscule amount of blue and just 30 to 45 seconds to get the right amount of color on there before I sprayed the clear. So it was just a dumb mistake on my part, but it happens to me. I do stupid things once in a while, but you can fix them as you can see here. So I'm glad it looks so good, and we are getting very close to getting this truck ready for delivery. We do have some scratches to polish out, sand out and polish out there, and scratched it here and there. I understand a Christmas box or something fell up against it, the fender, so I got to sand out some scratches and polish that. And I did find a chip that he chipped the paint when he was trying to put the windows in, and I understand that's a fairly nerve-wracking job to put those brand new weather strips in. So the next video will be how to repair that chip, so stay tuned. Okay guys, that pretty much wraps up my video of fixing a mistake on my part. And it's kind of frustrating because basically it took a whole day if you think about it. Not, you know, 8 hours of me working on it, but you know, you got to prep it, you got to spray, then you got to put the clear on, then you got to let the clear set overnight. So really, you know, it ain't a lot of time when it would have been just a minute of doing it right in the first place. But I wanted to show you guys this. I make mistakes, you're going to make mistakes, but they are correctable without reshooting the whole panel or the whole truck or car or whatever you're doing. It's better to try it first before you go to, you know, really extravagant lengths to try to fix something that maybe could be fixed fairly easily. So remember that. Give it a try if you need to. That's one of the best things about base coat, clear coat. You can do this stuff. You can put some more base coat down and then blend in the clear, sand it all, polish it, and it doesn't show. Thanks for joining me here at Foothill Paint Fabrication. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think of what I've been doing, and we'll see you on the next one.